Okay, and we are live. I've got my friends Melissa and Carol. Hello, ladies.
Hey.
So glad y'all are here. And we are talking about agent burnout and how to avoid it because it's real. I mean, people don't really realize how much we really work, and as long as our phone's on, we're working.
hmm
Yes. So Carol told me she had copious notes on this. Talk to me, Carol. Lead us. I love it.
Well, as I said to you when you said, what's the topic going to be? What do you want to talk about? I said agent burnout because for me, it's very real. And
Oh, yeah.
I, I suffer from depression if I'm not busy. And not not to the point that it's suicidal or anything like that, but I really do just crawl in a hole and I'm not a nice person
So
when
how
I'm
long
not
have you
busy.
been in real estate, Carol?
25 years.
20. So I've not as much as you. I've been in there 17 years, but I think you're right too, because some of it's too, it's like, oh shit, I'm not busy.
Right.
100% commission is 100% commission.
Well, and it
It's
hurts
weird.
when people around you are busy. Oh, I just wrote an offer for this, or I've got 4 new listings coming, and you're like, where the hell are you getting them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just have to be careful that some of those agents are lying to you, but you know.
But yet they're not. I mean, just as an example, and Melissa, I don't know what she has experienced this year, but the first quarter of the year, my team and I were rocking and rolling. We were
Yeah.
named in one of the top 15 teams in the entire state of Texas, which is huge for Texas.
And you wasn't your team top producer this year or this first quarter?
The
Come
first
on.
quarter, exactly. And then it is if the plugs were pulled, the drain was pulled out of the bathtub, everything. And I mean, it stopped for us almost dead.
Now,
And
when did you see that stop?
right around April 15th. I mean,
Okay.
literally, as soon as the award notice came out
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we were in the top, it was like,
Okay.
okay, you've had your moment of glory, you're done.
Yeah.
And it no matter what I did, it didn't generate business.
Mhm.
And people would say things like, well, the interest rates are going to come down. That's going to help. That did not help. Let's
And it
be
didn't
real.
happen. Hell, they're still going up.
Right. Exactly. But everything that we thought might come to fruition didn't.
Mhm.
So I think that the first thing that I have to do, and I certainly am not trying to dominate this conversation, but the first thing for me personally that I have to do is decide what is it about this business that's driving me crazy? Is it something I can tackle or attempt to tackle? For example, am I just tired? Do I need to take a break and go have some fun?
Mhm.
Or am I depressed because there's not enough business? And do I need to make the little stops for pop buys and the little contacts for
Add the
past
things that you know
clients
that could bring
or just
business.
get out in public? What is it that I need to do to rejuvenate myself and my business?
Mhm. Fair.
And sometimes it's a break and sometimes it's activity. We say all the time, as a matter of fact, just this morning on our team huddle, um, we were telling some of our agents on our team things that they need to do this week as we're getting ready for our Thanksgiving pie, reverse pie pickup, a reverse pop by pie pickup. And we were telling them, look, just call the people. It doesn't matter if they're coming or not. Call your clients, call your sphere, call your database, because activity breeds activity. And
Right?
and
Make
that's
somebody's phone ring.
that's
Exactly.
the whether you get a referral from somebody you called or it's just a random somebody that found you on Google. The more you're doing, that energy that you have to pick up the phone and make the calls, go do the pop by, those things, that's putting your energy out there to say, okay, I'm open for business, come on,
Did
universe,
you
bring
ever
some
read
back.
the book? Did y'all ever read the book years ago? I mean, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, The Secret?
I watched
No.
the movie and I
It's
came
very
home
much of like,
from a cruise with a new husband, Jennifer.
uh, but it's very much of what you put in the universe is what you get back, right? And
Exactly.
I tend to think that whenever I'm slow, I could call all of my past clients. So I could be working in this direction. And all of a sudden, business doesn't necessarily come from that, but it starts coming in this way. But you're 100% right. Activity breeds activity.
Yeah.
Right? And I think putting it out in the universe, you get back what you put out.
Right.
I
Right?
agree.
Because I have some agents on my team that are like, this market's horrible. Whoa, whoa. What? And guess what? Their production's lower than it's ever been. Whereas other people on my team, their production's higher than it's ever been. And it is indicative of the market, but it's also the mindset.
It's a huge part, the mindset. And I find that I just kind of shut down. If business shuts down, and so I have to force myself not to shut down.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, when business shuts down, retail therapy may not be the best therapy out there because you haven't had the income coming in. You know, it's great to go out and be in
you're
public
just
and
like me. I do the same
or
thing.
whatever, but maybe that's not the best solution.
But all of a sudden, I found you're right. All of a sudden, I'm like, "Ooh, that outfit looks cute. I can't afford it, but I'm getting it anyway."
Yeah, you could do Rent the Runway maybe and get
Yeah,
it for
there
a
you
day
go.
or two and send it back.
For me, I'm a real big goal setter. So for me, if I see something that I want, and I also am very frugal, right? So I'm not frugal when it comes to buying leads and things of that nature. But when it comes to spending money on me, I'm extremely frugal. But I'll put a goal out there, whatever the goal may be, 4 closings, for whatever. And then once I reach it, then I'll go spend the money.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I do the same thing with trips. So
Oh, we're both trip queens.
we've kind of held back a little bit from doing personal trips this past year because we were building our pool, and I made a promise to somebody that if we built a pool, I wouldn't need to go to Mexico this year because I'll have a pool in my backyard, and he can just bring me drinks to the poolside. But I realize now that we're at the end of the year that I do need that unplugged time. And so there's a group of gals I'm getting together with next year, early in the year. And it's like, we really probably shouldn't spend the money on a trip right now, but it's that motivation for me. I'm going to want that downtime and that fun connecting time with others. So I went ahead and booked it, and by golly, now I better go out and sell something because.
Well,
And then is that
honestly,
your form, Melissa? Is that the way that you keep yourself recharged and keep yourself from burning out? Is to have something like that, like a trip schedule,
absolutely,
and then you got something to
trips
focus on and work
trips,
towards.
vacation trips like that are not real estate related, but also, we do as many trips as we can that are real estate related. R4, elite retreat. We do, Dole does the commercial, and so we do a lot of trips that that are real estate related, and those do 2 things. Number one, I have to keep making enough money to pay for all the trips. But number 2, whenever I connect with other agents, I'll tell you, just last Thursday, we came back from Napa a couple of weeks ago, and my cup runneth over when I come back from an elite retreat. But I'm also exhausted, and we've all talked about that because, get a few hundred of us together, and there's lots of wine flowing in Napa and whatnot. And
There's a lot of masterminding and learning and just absorbing.
I mean, so the connections fill me up, but I was still battling a little bit of that, post-trip fatigue and trying to get my energy level up. Last Thursday, the first Thursday of every month, there's a group of agents that get together in our area, and it's sponsored by, title company, lender, all that. And just going to that, it was a really small turnout. There were maybe 10 agents there, but just sitting down and connecting and having conversations with other agents in our area and our professional partners, that fills me up. I mean, I was talking to one of the other agents there, and she only goes to R4 and maybe one other trip, top 500 in our area. But she said this is encouraging and helps me stay positive about being in the industry because I can bounce things off of other agents. So I think staying connected with others in our industry is
and I think it's Yeah, I think staying connected with others in the industry is really important too, because let's keep in mind the general public does not understand what we do, right? So even our significant others, I mean, I know that my Mark will get frustrated. I mean, finally now after 10 years, he's not getting frustrated anymore, but get really
You got him
frustrated with
trained
things.
finally.
We just start understanding that, okay, yes, we're having dinner and my phone's going to ring 10 times. And guess what? I have to answer it 10 times because that's how I make money. And it is, I do set a balance. Like all my clients know when I turn my phone off, I'm an early riser. So any client that feels a need to text me after 10 p.m., I will return their text at 5 a.m. when I already
Me
wake
too.
up.
Me too.
Like
But
you
I'm
can text
9
me when I'm in bed.
9
I'm going
p.m.
to
is
text
my
you when I'm
limit.
awake.
I don't have a brain after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
But I'm good at 4:30. I'm really good at 4:30.
That's me. 4:30, I am up, and by 6 o'clock, I feel like I've already spent my day. I mean, I've already worked out, I've showered, I'm ready to go. But it's also rude of clients or people in general, but they don't get it. I mean, I had a gentleman the other night. He's an older gentleman. Texted me at 11:36. And finally, at 11:36, I was like, I am in bed. Can I please call you at tomorrow morning? Please, because I am tired. But you do get tired. I think it's important to set those boundaries with your clients and let them know, I tell everybody from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., other way around, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., I am on. Maybe until 8, but my phone's off. I'm going to be in bed by 8 o'clock. And there is nothing I could do for you at 8 p.m. that will get us anywhere. Not until everybody opens back up in the morning, right? Because if they're calling me, it's a problem. Usually
Right.
it's with the
Exactly.
loan, with I mean,
At
I
that
can't
time
do
of day,
anything.
they're calling you because it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I can't do anything
Or
except
it's creating a problem for you. We've decided we don't want this house. Oh my gosh, I got to get up and get the termination done. And
Yeah.
yeah, one of the
yeah,
two.
just
Exactly.
nothing that can't be responded to in the morning. So I guess one of the ways that I do have to I do and this has happened just recently in the past couple of years to where I'll go to a conference and turn my phone off and know that, I have people set up back at home to help me, whether it be admin, whether it be agents on the team. I mean, that is the beauty of having a team and being on a
Yes.
team. Is
Yes.
that you can all rely on each other so you can take your vacations because your vacations, your family time, your mental health is very important. And
And I
that's
Absolutely.
love
when
what
you
Brianna
schedule in.
said at the elite retreat about if you have someone on your team who's pulling you down, or if you don't have the right people on your team to carry the load, and so that you have what you need, make
Get
some
rid of
changes.
them.
Get rid of that person, bring on someone new, or whatever it is. But I think that everybody on the team, though, feels the same thing. Just because I'm the team lead, I'm not the only one who feels that way.
100%.
We had our team planning meeting here at the house last week, and the first thing I did when we got serious about the meeting was, what do you want to see different in 25 that you haven't seen this time? And the number one answer was, we want more real FaceTime with the team. We want to be able to not just do Zoom calls, not just do, because we do our huddles now by phone and Zoom rather than go to the office, but we want FaceTime. Even if it's getting together and having a game night or something like that, just something to feel like we're part of all this together. So we're trying to implement some of that. The other thing I would say is, I think that you have to look at the source of the burnout. Is it a client you really need to fire, but you're afraid of losing that money? Or, I mean, truthfully, that can happen.
Yes,
Is
it does.
it because you've just put so much in it that you're tired and you need a little break? And maybe the little break can't be a trip because you've got something in 2 days, and so something you've got to be there for that you've already committed to. But it might be a good walk around
Turn
a
your
park
phone off and go for
somewhere,
a
or
walk.
go play
Absolutely.
pickleball and take a lesson, or go volunteer for 2 hours at the food bank, or
That's right. Whatever it is you need,
or
recharge.
make a call to somebody that you haven't talked to that had surgery. Whatever it is, just take the emphasis off of you and put it on something. To me, that's the best thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to set those limitations. Like what hours are you willing to work and work those hours?
Mhm.
But when you're ready to be off, turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Right. And I think having your calendar, I mean, I do block scheduling with my day, and I am trying now, to be honest, I'm not great at it, but I'm trying to put workout in there, and I'm very overweight. So I'm trying to get that in there. But it's nice to be able to put it in there and turn your phone off and have everybody know from this time to this time, I can't call her because I know she's going to be working out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't work out if I don't do it first thing in the morning.
I'm with you.
As long as I go 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, something like that, I can get it done. But
Because I can make a million excuses why I'm not doing it.
We're not going to do it again. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It has to be. That's probably one of my biggest strategies against burnout is having my morning routine. And I'll be honest, I've been hit and miss on it the last few months, and I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
But when I have my morning routine set and I do my get up, go to the gym, come back, journal, read something, pray, when I have that routine dialed in and I'm doing that at least 4 days a week, I can pretty much beat burnout.
Yeah.
I agree.
I totally agree. You got to have something that and maybe it's an end of the day thing for some people. I don't know. I'm a morning person, but you are too. But, you've got to set something that's your routine.
100%, 100%. You're right. And put it in there. That your routine is as important as showing houses, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you also, go ahead. I'm sorry, Melissa.
You can't, be serving others if you're running on it.
Serving yourself.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I would agree.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've forgotten what I was going to say. It probably wasn't even important, but I think the main thing is just assessing what is it that's burning you out and address it from that angle.
Yeah. And sometimes that's hard to really know. Right.
Yeah. Sometimes
to pinpoint exactly what it is, but usually I find that just taking time for myself and I've gotten really good at that over the past couple of years. I think that also comes with a little bit of confidence of success through success.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say no for the first 5 years to anybody, anytime they wanted to see a house. And quite frankly, I think that was one of the major reasons that Errol and I had a divorce, because we didn't do anything but real estate when we were both in it together as a couple. And we'd sit down at dinner and we were both on the phone, and you've got to set aside time for yourself in this business. But you have to have systems in place so that you can. You've got to have the right people behind you. You've got to be able to say, okay, I'm going out of town this week. I'm not taking my phone. I'll have my laptop if it becomes, required or whatever it is. And they know they're picking up the pieces and taking care of it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's funny because in January, I'm actually taking half of my team that qualified on a cruise. And they're like, oh, crap, what are we going to do? And I was like, we have 3 admin at home. They're there for a reason. We're going to disconnect. We're disconnecting.
Good for you.
There's nothing... we're not brain surgeons. I like to think I'm really important, but I'm telling you, if I go off the radar for 3 days, nobody's going to really notice. I'll have enough people at home to take care of everyone.
Well, and there are a lot of people who won't even notice you're really gone.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the technology. They don't necessarily know we're away.
Yeah, you're right.
Agreed.
And you can always set aside an hour a day to do the emails and whatever you need to do, even on a cruise.
Yeah, see, that's what I usually have an email that goes out just as I will be checking my email from 4 to 4:30.
Yeah.
4 to 4. It gives me 30 minutes. And then also I feel, because, as much as we say we need to check out and turn our phones off, to do that with our personality types, it almost gives you a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if you say like, okay, I will be checking my emails between 4 and 4:30, and it's an automated response, then everybody knows, okay, it's going to be checked between 4 and 4:30. I'll respond if I need to.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I agree.
Awesome.
I always bring my computer and I tell people I'm going to check my emails mid-morning. If there's an emergency, you may be able to reach me. You probably don't want to talk to me after about 3 p.m. If I'm going to be at an all-inclusive resort.
Yeah, because you're going to be having fun. You
I might be getting that massage with a glass of wine.
That's exactly right. 100%. Yeah, it was funny. The first cruise I went on years ago, gosh, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I forgot. I mean, I made the message on my phone. I just didn't save it. So when I got back, my phone, by the time I came back to port, my phone was completely, I mean, a million phone calls, a million text messages, and everybody really upset. And it took me like 1 hour to de-escalate everything that happened. And I didn't lose a client. I didn't lose a deal. I didn't lose anything. And it was kind of a refresher to be like, okay, I'm important, but I'm not that important. You know?
Agreed.
I had never been on a cruise at all until I was a newbie in real estate. And at that time, the title companies could treat us to things like a cruise.
Yeah.
And a bunch of us went on a cruise with one of the title companies. And nobody's phone worked on the ship then because you didn't have Wi-Fi that went to Mexico and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as we got on the bus in Galveston to come back to Houston, everybody's phone was bing, 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 bing. And everybody was back on their phone. But for those 4 nights, nobody had it.
I don't really love a cruise, but that is the one thing I love about a cruise.
Yes, I agree.
I can honestly say you can pay for Wi-Fi all day long, but it's rare that you actually get it. So I'm like, I'm going to be on a cruise. I'm going to do what I can.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the plus to a cruise. I'm not a huge cruise person either, but it does force you to unplug and recharge.
That's exactly right.
We haven't done a cruise since we became realtors. So
maybe you need to add one to your list.
Yes. Yes. Take your top agents. You know what? It's the best way. The owners of my Remax said that it was if you want to do a treat for your people, it's good because then they also have like the drink packages, but you don't have to worry about people drinking and driving. You don't have to worry about the scary stuff that people can get into if you give them unlimited alcohol.
And you pretty much, you don't have to stay with them, but you kind of know where they are on the ship.
Yeah, it's confined, but it's
you can get together for dinner. You can get together to go to the casino or whatever it is you want to do, lay by the pool. But if somebody wants to go and read a book by themselves, they can go and do that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's big enough that you can divide or stay.
But honestly, 3 or 4 nights and I'm done.
I'm with you.
I really am.
I'm with you. 100%. Well, awesome, ladies. It was good to reconnect with y'all. Do y'all feel better after Napa? Do y'all feel recharged?
I do.
Pardon me?
You feel recharged after Napa?
I did. I came home with some really good things, and I've been implementing a few of them. Today, like Melissa said, we were on a new mastermind, and it was excellent. We were supposed to go an hour, and we easily went an hour and a half.
It was at least an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
and I would say that the best thing about, and you both know this, but the best thing about going to R4 or Elite or Luxury or anything else you choose to do is the connections that you make. And so when you are burnout, call one of those agents that you haven't spoken to in 3 months and just say, hey, I met you in Napa and I love connecting. You said you were going to do so-and-so. How's it going?
Yeah.
And is your market improving? And sometimes just hearing from someone else that they've had a couple of struggles or that they've had a victory gives you a recharge.
That's right. I like that. Yeah. Pay it forward too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Fabulous to connect with y'all today and recharge.
Yes.
That's right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jennifer. Bye, Melissa. I'll see you around.
Yeah, and Melissa, I still want to see a picture. Your pool shaped like Tennessee, Lord, shaped like Texas.
You
I never
didn't
saw a picture.
I thought I'll send it to you.
Okay, send it to me.
Okay.
I love it.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, girl.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It was good seeing y'all again.